So today we're going to talk about graphing quadratics in standard form. So your objective is that you will be able to graph quadratic equations in standard form by using a table and the vertex. So your steps to graphing in standard form are first to find the vertex, which we worked on last class. So once again, when you have your ax squared plus bx plus c, your vertex is negative b over 2a, and then you can plug that back into your x value back into the original equation, or you can plug it into your bx divided by 2 plus c and find the y value. So you're going to start off by finding the vertex. Then, wherever your vertex is, you're going to choose a point, an x value, to the left or to the right, whatever would be easier for you, and plug that x value into your original equation and solve for y. This will help you make a table, and by your axis of symmetry, it'll help you find your point on the other side, then repeat for the next x value. So that might have sounded confusing, but we're going to go through examples which will make it less confusing. So y equals x squared minus 8x plus 12. First, find your vertex. X equals negative b, so positive 8, over 2 times a. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Plug that back into, this is your x value, so our vertex is 4 something. Your whole bx, so negative 8 times 4, divided by 2 plus 12. So negative 32 divided by 2 gives us 16, negative 16 plus 12, so it's negative 4. So we found our vertex is 4, 4. 4, negative 4, I mean. So I'm going to plot that. I'm just going to erase this work for it right now since we went over that with the last video, and I need more room here. So now we're going to make a table. So right in the middle, we're going to have our vertex. So now I can pick either 5 or 3 to plug into the equation because that's on both sides. So we have 3 and 5. I'm going to choose 3 just because it should give us smaller numbers. So we're going to do 3 squared minus 8 times 3 plus 12. 3 squared is 9 minus 24 plus 12. So we get 9 minus 24, which is negative 15, plus 12 gives us negative 3. So right here we see negative 3. So now because of our axis of symmetry, it's also going to be negative 3 right here. So I'm just going to graph that. So if we did 3, negative 3, we're right here. Once again, your axis of symmetry goes right through your vertex, and everything's same on the both sides. So we have 5, negative 3 as well. So I'm going to have you do this again, so you could either pick 2 or 6 to plug in. Again, I'm going to pick 2 just because it'll give us smaller numbers. So we get 4 minus 16 plus 12. 4 minus 16 is negative 12 plus 12, we get 0. So our point is 2, 0. And again, by using this axis of symmetry, we get 6, 0. And now it's graphed. So you only really have to, once you find your vertex, which we became so good at yesterday, then you only really have to plug in 2 other points to be able to graph your quadratic. So we're going to practice again. Y equals 2x squared minus 12x plus 21. First thing is to find your vertex. So negative b, so positive 12, over 2 times a, 2 times 2 is 4, so we get 3. So our vertex is 3 something. I'm going to plug it into the bx divided by 2 plus c. So we get negative 36 divided by 2 is negative 18 plus 21, 3. So we get 3, 3. And once again, I'm going to erase this work, give us more room, and make my table. So write your vertex right in the middle. So I could either pick 2 or 4. I'll pick 2, keep the numbers smaller. and plug it in for every x in the equation. So we have 2 times 4 minus 24 plus 21. 8 minus 24 plus 21. 8 minus 24 is negative 16. Plus 21 gives us 5. So we have 2, 5. And with our axis of symmetry, that means we get 4, 5 as well. I'm going to erase this work to get more room to do another point. So now we can plug in 1 or 5 because that's on either side. So I'm going to choose 1. So we have 2 minus 12 plus 21. So 2 minus 12 gives us negative 10 plus 21 gives us 11. I don't think that's going to be on our graph, but it should be like right up here. So 111, and then same thing, 511. And we can graph our quadratic. So this axis of symmetry is really helpful. Now let's look at one where there's a negative in front. First, find your vertex. Negative b over 2 times a gives us negative 4. Plug it back in. Negative 8 times 4, negative 4 divided by 2 plus c. Positive 32 divided by 2 is 16 minus 12 gives us 4. So our vertex is negative 4, 4. Plot your point, draw your axis of symmetry. Next, we want to make our table. So your vertex goes right in the middle. So now on either side of this, we either have negative 5 or negative 3. So I'm going to choose to plug in negative 3 this time. So we get negative 3 squared is 9 plus 24 minus 12. So negative 9 plus 24 gives us 15 minus 12 gives us 3. So these would both be 3. So we have negative 3, 3, negative 5, 3. Now we can do negative 2 or negative 6. So I'm going to choose negative 2. So we get positive 4 times a negative plus 16 minus 12. So negative 4 plus 16 gives us 12 minus 12 gives us 0. So both of these will be 0. So you go negative 2, 0, negative 6, 0. And now you want to double check, does this make sense that it's pointing down? Whenever there's a negative sign in front here, it should be pointing down. So this does make sense. One more example. So find your vertex. X equals negative b over 2 times a, 3. And then plug it back in, negative 12 times 3 divided by 2 plus 22. Negative 36 divided by 2 is negative 18 plus 22 gives us 4. Now we're going to make our table, x and y. I'm going to plot my 3, 4. We can choose 2 or 5. I'm going to choose 2. Four times 2 minus 24 plus 22. 8 minus 24 plus 22. So 8 minus 24 gives us negative 16. And then plus 22 gives us 6. So these both equal 6. So we have 2, 6. Our next point won't be on here, but you would then plug in 1 or 6. Use your axis of symmetry and draw your graph. So graphing in standard form isn't too bad. Just find your vertex, which is why we practiced it all class yesterday, and then just plug in 2 points that are next to it and use your axis of symmetry to find the other two. So just come to class with any questions you have, and we're going to practice more.